I'm Phil. I'm very Phil.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What do you mean, calm it down? It's a fight. Referees telling two fighters who want to fight to calm it down. He should calm down.
I saw he's like a clown in his show, man. He's not your guy.
Because Tyson Fury's back, and all you motherfuckers are under attack.
Look, Eddie Hearn can say all what he likes. Who gives a shit what Eddie Hearn says? It's garbage.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Can you let me retire and be happy? Please? Just please.
Bombs away from the Bronx Bomber!
Wanda! Let's go, baby! Let's go! I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
I got dropped, man.
No, you won the fight.
OMG. I am so excited.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up? What is up, MCR family? Another daily edition of the show, live on YouTube, obviously podcast from iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, etc. Smash like button, share the show, subscribe. I'm Matt, the Hipster Hunter. Obviously, we have a ton of topics to get to. Mayweather versus Pacquiao 2. It's most likely happening in May. Let's just be honest about the situation here. They literally reenacted the NBA game meeting like they did in the first one. I'm just saying, come on, it's happening. Let's be real. And obviously, we do have fights coming this weekend. Jose Uzcategui versus Caleb Plant. Cannot wait to see that. Of course, Devin Haney on Showbox as well. Tons of topics on top of that to get to. Jarrell Miller's promoter coming out, talking about Anthony Joshua and how the ball's in his court. Tyson Fury coming out, looking good, and sort of his first, at least, public training footage that we've seen, and saying some funny comments towards Deontay Wilder as usual. And, of course, Terence Crawford versus Amir Khan press conference next week, all but making this fight official. So it's here, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, smash the like button, share the show, subscribe. If you want to call in, 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. For international, email me, mixedcombatradio@gmail.com to get a free international and permanent call-in link. And, of course, on top of that, quick announcement. Thank you, Rob, for reminding me about that. Let's get the music out. You know what music I'm talking about, man. It's here. It's time. Yes. MixedCombatRadio.com. Go check out the website. Shout out to our web designer, Fugatti. It's here. And, of course, it's new. It's starting out. There's a lot of things I want fixed with it. But, hey, I mean, that's the start of it. The start of the empire. Hey, I'm going to nitpick, Rob. Stop that. Anyways, digress from that. Of course, I'm joined by Mr. Robbie Hearns himself, second cousin, twice removed from Sir Eddie Hearn himself. Rob, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Ignore Matt. It's great. We've gone from not having a website to we've got one.
It is. Shots at myself.
Yeah. And we've gone from not having one to having one. So, and the people, the international callers, it's now easier. Go to mixedcombatradio.com. Have a little scroll down. There's just press the email link, and you're straight into your emails. You can ask Matt for the link, and you can join us on the show. Give that UK opinion. So instead of going, shit, what did he just say? Mixed Combat, Matt Hunter, Gmail, whatever.
And remember, all that stuff, ladies and gentlemen, is below in the description as well. So if you listen on podcasts, YouTube, whatever it is, there are links below and information about how to do that.
Yeah, but go and visit the site. Like it's basic. It's this, but it's you press everything, it takes you everywhere. Like the social media pages, the Facebook page, the email link, the phone number. If you haven't got it saved in your phone, I don't know why you wouldn't, but it's there. You just press it. It's all right. It's good enough. It's doing the job. But
it's doing the job.
As you guys go out there and tell everybody about us and the subscribers build, obviously, so will the website and things like that. So # little channel.
I want smoke.
But we're doing all right. So yeah, Mayweather Pacquiao. They met at a basketball game, so the fight is official. No, we'll see. But obviously, as soon as that moment happened at I think it was the Clippers game, it was like the boxing world went deja vu. It's we've been here, done this. So maybe 6 years down the line, we'll see the rematch from the handshake. I don't know, but Big Baby Miller's promoter, balls in Joshua's court. Caleb Plant and
I like how you just brush over Big Baby Miller's promoter saying he wanted the smoke.
I want smoke.
I like that. You just kind of just brush this out like, oh, Big Baby, whatever. I see it. I see the narrative.
No, it's good. It's good. Whatever. We'll talk about it. I was just trying to get through him quick. Caleb Plant versus I always just call him the Wi-Fi password. Uzcategui, whatever.
Same thing.
Yeah. All right.
Sure. You got it pretty much exactly right.
Okay.
I've heard it pronounced both ways, so it's you got it pretty much down. You're good.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting that on ITV for obviously free. I know you guys have got it on. Is it Fox or Showtime? I don't know, but
it's Fox Sports 1, not Fox. Fox Sports 1. To try to sort of describe it to people in the UK. Fox is a free-to-air sort of channel. Fox Sports 1 is not. If that sort of helps.
Like subscription.
It's not really a subscription, but it's like an ESPN, where it's technically a premium network, like an HBO, like a Showtime, but it's included in a lot of cable packages up front, if that makes sense. So, like, the cost of it's included in, like ESPN's cost is included in 90% of cable packages. But again, technically speaking, it's not a free-to-air network in that sense. But it's not like you have to pay an extra $10 a month, $15 a month in that way.
Okay. All right. Well, and a few other bits and pieces I'll bring up, or Matt will bring up in the news. But we'll start off with obviously Mayweather. After we've seen him on his Instagram showing us his amazing watch collection, whether he can actually tell the time, who knows? But they look kind of fancy.
That was good.
Even the $18 million one.
I didn't watch that video. How was it? Was it entertaining?
It was kind of like to all the haters, because he got a load of stick for like the bullshit fight that people have obviously taken a little bit too seriously, and he got $9 million for that, and he got on. So he was just like doing his usual. It was typical Floyd, just so you know.
Well, I mean, everyone, not to. Like the whole narrative that Floyd's broke, that's why he's taking that fight for the $9 million. That's why he keeps coming back to boxing, so to speak, is because he's broke, right? That's always been a narrative, right? The talking point.
Gambling debts.
Yeah, and it's weird because obviously his lifestyle, from what we've seen, still looks like he has a lot of money. But his lifestyle also shows that he spends a lot of money, so it's just a weird aspect I don't really want to get into. But anyways, digressing from that. Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. Of course, Manny Pacquiao does have the Adrian Broner fight coming up next week. I want to say, right? It is next week. On Showtime pay-per-view, which...
Or free on ITV4.
And we'll discuss, I think, Steven Espinoza's Twitter mistake on Boxing Banter Episode 2, which is on patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio right after this show. So whenever the show ends, 10, 15-minute break, we're going to jump into patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio to do a Patreon-only show.
Or go to the website, mixedcombatradio.com, find the little Patreon button, press it. Press the button. Hey, presto, there you are on the page. Sign up. $1, $2, $5. God, sounding like $1, $10.
Yeah, that.
It'll get you everything you want.
Love you long time. Yeah. Yes, definitely go to the website. Definitely go to patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Any support to the channel is, of course, highly, highly appreciated. But digressing from that, obviously, let's just show you guys the very short clip of the reenactment, so to speak, of the infamous, was it 2015 game? I forget what game. I think it was a Warriors game. I could be wrong. I definitely know some.
Heat.
Oh, was it Miami Heat game?
I think it might have been. I think I just saw it.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I don't remember. But I remember the picture, right? I remember the infamous picture of them looking at each other's phone like, oh, you got my number, right? And obviously that the news followed after that they met in their hotel rooms post that fight and basically hammered out most of the deal, allegedly. And this seems to be again, pseudo reenactment of that event a few years back. Let's briefly watch it. And it's quick. Manny Pacquiao goes up, shakes Mayweather's hand, and the entire crowd is going nuts, as it was. Gary in the chat saying it was a heat game, by the way. I'm not surprised this is taking off as it is. And again, the headline is really what I want to talk about with this matchup. I think most of us in the industry or outside of it understand this fight is being built up again, and the rematch is probably happening in the next 12 months at some point. Do we then care about the rematch? I'll be honest. I've been on the record stating that I'm interested in a rematch with Mayweather Pacquiao. A while ago, I've been interested in this rematch. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think both guys competitively, athletically, are sort of on the same stage in their career, obviously. On top of that, there's no way the rematch can be as bad as the first fight. So I'm kind of all in favor of it in a way. Of course, I know most hardcores will not be. Most hardcores are going to stick their noses up at it and act like they're too good for it. And I understand that. It's Mayweather and Pacquiao, two guys that at this point in their career, I think the hardcores have sort of turned against in a lot of ways for obvious reasons. But again, I think this fight is competitive. I think this fight has to be at least of the same level of shit entertainment or better. And I don't think it can be worse. Rob, I'm kind of safely assuming you don't care about this, but I don't want to assume. I don't want to put words in your mouth. So what's your thoughts? Do you care about a rematch with Mayweather-Pacquiao this year?
You're half right. I'm sort of torn between it. I don't know. I think the first one took so long to make, and now it's been. Well, when did they fight?
2015.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the fact they're similar age still is kind of, I guess it doesn't kind of matter. But I was thinking, do we really want to see two 41-year-olds sort of fight, or whatever they're going to be, whatever age they're sort of roughly? But
I'm just throw it out there. Just throw it out there. We have seen 41 and 42-year-olds recently put on really good fights, a la Vladimir Klitschko, Anthony Joshua. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, but do two of them make really good fight? Who knows? But we'll have to see. But I think this is going to be something that, as it gets nearer the time, I get more caught up in a little bit because, I don't know. It's not like I'm a massive... I know I made jokes earlier, but I'm not like a Floyd hater. Obviously, as a boxer, I appreciate the guy, but just, I don't know, just kind of... Just how he is more than... And,
well, of course.
I mean, what he's lived off, right? That's what he's lived off. The hate still sells. Like, people want to... Oh, yeah, I'll watch a rematch. I want to see Pacquiao knock him out. I want to see... they want to see Mayweather lose. So I'm kind of one of those guys, but I obviously appreciate what he has done in the sport and, what he is exactly. But at the moment, when I saw that basketball clip, I kind of was like, oh, no, here we... Because everyone went with, oh, shit. We've seen this before. Oh, shit. And people were either hyped or, like you say, there were certain people like, nah, I ain't interested. But this is one that will definitely, I think, will probably grow on me nearer the time. And especially after we see what Pacquiao does or doesn't do against Broner. I think that might be even key into this fight happening. Mm-hmm. So I guess Pacquiao's got to win this to make the Mayweather fight somewhat more of a bigger deal. But if Broner beats Pacquiao, then people will say, well, Manny's done anyway, and this, that, and the other. So this all kind of depends on the result of next weekend's fight. But yeah, I'm sure I'll grow into liking it. But at the minute, I'm not like, they met at a basketball game, whatever.
Floyd's an enigma because obviously in today's social climate, in the cancel era and the Me Too era, he is a convicted, domestic violence offender. And the fact that at any point he can come in and, all the metrics go up when he's attached or anything, it's just crazy, man. Like my rant about Broner, the other day, it wasn't yesterday, a couple days ago, that can just be transplanted to Mayweather, obviously, right? Like they are similar in that way. Obviously, Mayweather's offenses are far more egregious. Obviously, he was convicted Broner hasn't been convicted of any of those sexual crimes yet. Floyd's just a weird guy, man, because like you said, you can't look at his body of work and say he's trash, like even with the outside the ring stuff, because he is one of, if not the best boxer of the last 30 years. And outside of him being a despicable human being, he is a fantastic boxer. And, similar to my, issues with Manny Pacquiao, I think he has said some really despicable things. And maybe not be a despicable person like Floyd Mayweather, but he has said despicable things. And yet he is, the second best boxer of the last 30 years. I want to see him fight again. And it's just a weird climate where, people like me who are, I think, very socially conscious of things like this, like I am conflicted on that level more than anything. More than, me sticking my nose about it because it's Mayweather and Pacquiao. More than I think that they're too old to fight. It's more of, man, do I really want to celebrate these two guys at all? Really? I get that they're fantastic boxers, but outside of that, are they fantastic people? And there's a debate to be had there. And maybe not on this show. I'm not saying let's don't go into this rabbit hole, but just to put that thought process out there for the people listening, start having that inner dialogue with yourself. Like, is Mayweather and Pacquiao worth watching because of their outside the ring characters, personas, and that's even probably the wrong words to use. The actions they have done and perpetrated outside the ring, is it worth still watching them? And again, much bigger topic. I hope people listening actually have some reflection on that. Yeah,
I mean, it depends what sort of person you are. Some people really invested in like the boxer, the person outside the ring. That's why certain people love certain fighters. But he's not just a good boxer; he's just a great person outside the ring. He does this for charity, that for this and that. But if you're purely just like watching good fights, you like watching boxing, then what they've done outside of the ring, I don't know. It's up to you whether that sways your opinion or whatever. But if you could just sit down and watch it in a sporting sense, then yeah, this could be a real good fight to watch. It's just obviously down to the individual. We're going to get people like, no, how no? I'm sure this is going to be. So what we're April is looking like a pay-per-view for you guys, and then May looks like you might be looking at $100 one as well. So I don't know. It's been a bit rough for you guys over there, right, at the moment, boxing-wise with pay-per-views. But yeah, this will be a big deal. We know it's going to do minimum of 2 million buys. I guess it's going to be another big deal, I guess. But or does streaming
quickly? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. But Rubisky in the chat saying, "Yeah, I love Matt, but he's sometimes too sensitive when it comes to trash talk." Rubisky, Floyd Mayweather hitting women isn't trash talk. Like, I'm sorry here. To compare those two things are completely different. Manny Pacquiao saying, dogs and cats are better than homosexuals is not trash talk. Like, again, and people brought up other people that have been obviously in sports that have said controversial things. Yes, we should criticize the things they have said. When Ali was ultra racist against white people, we should lambast him against those claims. And he did. And obviously, he came back later in his age and denounced those earlier opinions of his. Same with people like Malcolm X. Same with others. The idea that these people are just, get a free ride to say and do whatever they want because they're celebrities and athletes and because everyone else does it, that doesn't really fly with me. Like, if you are, again, committing actual despicable acts against humanity and are perpetrating hate, racism, bigotry, etc., yeah, like, I have issues with that. Tyson Fury is another one. The fact that we talked about on the show, Rob, about how he is arguably the story of last year, right? Is Tyson Fury's comeback and how great of a comeback it is, and how amazing of a story that is. But Tyson Fury is still the same guy that went after homosexuals, went after certain ethnic groups. So it's, again, it's boxing. I've talked about this before on other shows and on this show that this sport and just sporting culture as a whole accepts all. Like, there's a reason Greg Hardy was accepted for so long in the NFL and then is now accepted in MMA and will be on ESPN going forward with the UFC. You know, there's a reason sports accepts all. And I think because the sporting fan base accepts all. And I think there's some beauty in that at times, but there's also times we should criticize that we accept all. Sometimes that doesn't fly. Sometimes we shouldn't accept everyone. That's just the reality of society at this point. But again, rabbit hole. If you don't want to agree with me, don't have to agree with me. That's fine. But to compare trash talk to literally hitting women, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm one of the ones that, you know, some guys have done some bad things, but I'm watching them perform whichever sport at an elite level, and I enjoy watching sport at the elite level. So, you know, outside of it, you know, whatever, I'm not interested in his story or whatever, or it just each to their own, I think. On like how strongly you feel or how not quite so strongly I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I don't condone any of it, but you know, it goes on, it happens, and it's if people serve their time and come away from it, then kind of that's the whole point of, you know, going down that route of, you know, whether it's prison or whatever. I'm not saying I don't know the situation with certain people, whether they've done their time and for their crimes or whatever, but like you say, I think that as a whole, sporting culture does accept, you know, in that moment,
a lot of negativity.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Outside of it, once that game's over or that fight's over or this, that, and the other, certain people will be back on hating and any social media post, putting their thoughts on his social media posts or this, that, and the other. But when it comes to watching that person perform, they're one of the people watching it, and like you want to watch. You said you want to see it. It'd be a good fight, so you're going to watch it for the sporting occasion that it's going to be. But that doesn't mean you have to like either of them or anything like that.
No, I completely understand your point, and it's being echoed by people in the chat. And again, the idea that, oh, you can find bad seeds in every aspect of life doesn't mean we have to accept those bad seeds. You know, like just because bad things happen all the time everywhere doesn't mean we should accept, applaud, and then financially support the people that do those bad things. So that's the difference here, especially when we talk about, I think, with other sports, because it is a little bit different. When you watch the NFL on Fox or CBS on Sunday, it's a little bit different than paying a pay-per-view to watch Floyd Mayweather box. You know what I mean? Like, you are financially supporting a guy that's committed those atrocities.
So you're streaming it, right?
But again, like people want to make the argument with R. Kelly about how you can separate the art from the person. I don't know if you can at a certain point. And every line's different for every person, right? But there should be a line where at a certain point, if you've committed certain atrocities, I don't find your art or entertainment entertaining anymore. I can't separate the two anymore. Every time I watch Edwin Valerio fight, I can't not think about the crime he committed in killing his wife and then hanging himself in prison. I cannot think about that. That will always be on my mind when I see Edwin Valerio fights back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. This is going weird, but
oh, this is definitely like a boxing banter topic.
Yeah, I know, but I was going to say, like, things like R. Kelly, you can think, what a horrible, despicable person, but he can sing. Or Floyd Mayweather, again, horrible, but fuck, he could box. But maybe in Mayweather's example is maybe he shouldn't use his skills as a fighter to.
Well, when we say people are Mayweather, for example, R. Kelly, for example, that these people have committed awful things, that they're awful people, that doesn't automatically make them untalented, but it doesn't mean that you should support their talent. You know what I mean? Like when I say Mayweather is a domestic violence abuser, convicted one, and he's an awful person, doesn't mean that he's all of a sudden not the greatest boxer of the last 30 years. He is. But you can't separate the two. It's the same person. Same with R. Kelly. Those lyrics that goes into his music is reflective of the person that's outside the music making art. And again, I know some people can separate the two. I can't to a certain degree. And Mayweather is sort of at that line. And unfortunately, I just have to cover him. I have to talk about him because it is my job. You know? So that's why I want to tackle it from this angle more so than, Let's see who wins Mayweather versus Pacquiao 2. How many buy rates is it going to do? Fuck that. Who cares? Is it even worth watching? Are these two men even worth supporting at this point? Especially Mayweather more than Pacquiao, obviously, but especially Mayweather, come on. And again, I know this is a rabbit hole, and I know most fans, especially boxing fans, don't care about this subject. They don't care about this conversation. They'd rather be an ostrich and put their heads in the sand and just ignore it, and that's fine. But if that was your daughter, if that was your wife, if that was your sister, if that was your mother that was beat up, that was abused, you would think differently. And I think empathy should be used a little bit more so than just being cold and calculated with sports.
No, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Like you say, some people can switch it off and just watch the sport, I guess. But yeah, like I said at the start, I'm not at the moment excited to watch two 40-year-olds fight, but I guess nearer the time, the intrigue will take over. I wasn't even going to watch Mayweather and Nasukawa, but sure as shit, I ended up watching it, finding a little stream and watching it on my phone.
Wait, can you say the name again?
Nasukawa, Gawa, whatever.
I like the G that's not there. I like it.
I didn't know.
It's okay.
It's all right. It's MMA. I'm not supposed to know any shit about MMA. But yeah, I wasn't supposed to be watching that. I was like, fuck that. It's going to be a complete joke. And I had to tune in to make sure it was a complete joke. Thankfully, I was right. And I had some kind of self-justification for doing what I did and finding a stream on my phone. But yeah, I was there. Mayweather, look, this is why he is making hundreds of millions and this and the other. Whatever it is he's got, that people want to see him lose. Some are like really supportive of him. Some, whatever, casuals are interested. People are interested in watching the guy fight. So whatever the magical combination is that he's got it, and he's absolutely milking it to the nth degree. So good luck to him in that regard, I guess, But yeah, I'm sure nearer the time I'll be like, oh, go on then, I'll watch. Hopefully we get it free on ITV.
Yes, and again, it's not about canceling these certain people. Bernard Hopkins famously said, like, no white guy can beat me, right? And that should be criticized. Like, that's a very stupid and bigoted opinion, right? Like, again, I'm not saying cancel these people, because I know we are in the cancel culture and the cancel era, but what I am saying is that you need to start thinking about how much do I really support these people? And, like, should I be supporting these people? Because I can love boxing. I can support boxing without supporting Mayweather. Like, that's the God honest truth. When people ask me, or people say, like Carlos in the chat, dumbass Carlos, you can get another job. Why? I love the sport of boxing. I can absolutely despise Mayweather as a person and question the fan base supporting him and still love the sport and want to cover it. Those two things aren't mutually exclusive. And I think people need to start having actual, like, critical thinking and complex thoughts right here in your own head, and have some reflective thoughts about the state of fandom and the state of what you support and what you are a fan of and who you are a fan of. But digressing from that, because again, like I said, Mayweather Pacquiao 2, I'm slightly intrigued by. I have been for a while. I think it makes a lot of sense for both guys' career, and I'm probably still going to watch it because it is my job and I still have to cover it. Anyways, digress from that. Rob, let's get into some of the fights this weekend and then get into the news of the day. Big Bay Miller, obviously, Crawford, we're going to get into that. Jose Uzcategui versus Caleb Plant, a fight that I am absolutely excited for. Both guys have, I think, really tragic stories that any parent, I think, would instantly connect with. Both guys lost children at very young ages. That is absolutely heartbreaking. And when you look at both these guys and their careers and how the level of expertise and athletic ability that both guys have achieved, beside that fact, beside the heartbreak and the loss that they've had to deal with, it's absolutely impressive. And the fact that they're now both facing each other is poetic in a lot of ways, and let alone the actual, like, in-ring ability and talent of both guys. I mean, Caleb Plant, if he beats Jose Uzcategui, he's up there with just pound-for-pound boxing ability and skill. He may not have the power to get the flashy wins. He may not have the power and sort of the style that a lot of, I think, fans sort of gravitate to. But Caleb Plant's a master of range, a master of timing. His ability to dart in and out and just pick you apart with shots is truly sublime. His ability to just come in and out with the jab and just snipe you at range is truly impressive. Obviously, he does have some flaws on the inside. He obviously does have some flaws when it comes to staying in the pocket because he doesn't have the power to really match some of his opponents. And on top of that, Jose Uzcategui is easily the best opponent Caleb Plant has faced by far. Caleb Plant's best win is Porky Medina, who's Uzcategui beat in 2013, I believe, to put that in perspective. And Uzcategui has only improved since that and the loss to Matt Korobov, which was competitive. I think it's going to be a really fun fight. I think this is going to be if Caleb Plant can stay at range, if he can stay moving, if he can stay laterally moving around the ring and not get caught up, I think you'll be able to win enough rounds. However, I think Uzcategui has improved enough. I think his defensive skills, his ability to cut off the ring, add combinations to the body, and just to tap you with 8 shots and then unload that 9th really powerful shot is an old school tactic that I don't really see that often. I think Uzcategui should win this one slightly. It's going to be competitive. It might even be controversial in a way. But I see this being like a 7-5 split decision sort of scorecard. Again, Caleb Plant, he could absolutely win this. And if he does, it really shows how talented he is because he doesn't have that power. But I think Uzcategui is a little bit too much for him. I think he'll be able to sort of eventually get on the inside in the mid-range and start unloading the 10-piece combinations, the 6-piece combinations. And I think Caleb Plant will struggle along the ropes with those combinations. Rob, I know you sort of, said you don't care about this fight before the show because, it's not a UK fight. It is what it is.
I didn't say that.
You didn't say it?
I didn't say because it's not a UK fight.
Oh, that is true. I definitely added that part.
So don't try and paint that I'm just the UK flag waver that doesn't give 2 fucks about America.
Oh, that was good.
I just give 1 fuck about America. No, I sort of like this fight, but this is part of the whole when people got oh shit, Uncle Wow's delivered. Look what he's delivering. This to me didn't go, oh wow. Yeah, you're right. Look at this. This was like Caleb Plant and Uzcategui. And I was like, I don't see Caleb Plant. I know he's pretty slick and this, that, and the other, but who's he fought? He hasn't fought anybody. And yet he's fighting for the green and gold super middleweight title. I don't know.
It's IBF.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry,
and also, all the sanctioning bodies are relatively the same. And they're all kind of corrupt. Anyways, digressing.
But yeah, sorry, yeah, my bad. And I just think Uzcategui I think he's going to win this. I think he's clearly got more power. I think he's quite a tough guy, and not really going to break it down in like technique because I haven't seen a great deal of either of them. I've seen a few fights of Plant and a few fights of Uzcategui, and I think Uzcategui will just have a bit too much for Caleb Plant. He'll have to be, I think, really slick to keep him off him, in my opinion. So, we'll see. At times, Plant, I think, has impressed me, and other times I thought, I don't think he's quite the hype that that's sort of surrounding him at the moment. But yeah, I'll press record on my Skybox and record this one and watch it back. But just not, mega like wow. Showtime.
It's also not a big fight. Like it's a hardcore fight, right? Like it's a fight that if you've been watching both these guys for a while, because Uzcategui's been on TV for quite some time. He just has been on US TV, right? So obviously you haven't been able to see him. But he's been on, I think, on Azteca. I think he's been on BN Sports. Like he's been on a couple, and obviously HBO before Showtime. Now FS1. He's been on sort of all over the place for the last decade in a sense. Caleb Plant's a relatively new guy and a sort of a domestic guy at this point because he hasn't really been a world level guy at this point. Porky Medina when he fought him was in the same Porky Medina that fought James DeGale or Jose Uzcategui. I think this is similar to like a highly it's a little bit better, but this would be the equivalent, in my opinion, of like Okoli Chamberlain, where it's two UK prospects / contenders fighting off, but obviously Uzcategui is a level below, above both those guys, right? But it's a domestic fight for the US, if that makes sense, right? Like it's a fight that I know won't cater to the UK audience unless you really are invested in either one of these guys. Which
I think
doubt.
that's it. I'm just not connected in any way, like to either of these guys that much. Maybe that's it. I'm just not that buzzed for it. But please to God, it's not as bad as Coley Chamberlain. But boxing gods, please don't make it like that fight. But yeah, maybe that's it. I'm just not like, I'm really high on Uzcategui or Caleb Plant. Wow, what a fighter! I'm just not invested, shall we say? So maybe that's just why I'm not quite. I think it will be a good fight. I think it'll be a good fight to watch. But I'm just sort of as far as who wins, I'm like, who cares? So, but
well, because this is also the division with your boy Callum Smith in it. Just
yeah, and rumors are going around. Ward is wanting too much money. That was in talks that Ward's
not coming back, man. Like,
well, there's been talks according to some place. No, I'm just saying.
No,
that
I refuse. I refuse. I refuse to say that Ward's ever coming back. He should not come back. Stop.
Because apparently he wants too much money for the Usyk fight as well. That was also little bits leaking out that he's wanting too much for that. But anyway, yeah, of course, Callum Smith beats both these guys with whichever hand he wants to beat them with. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe it's a bout down the line that we will see a Callum Smith fight against whoever wins this one. But
Hassan in the chat saying, didn't James go life and death with ... Never mind. Obviously talking about Porky Medina. Yes, he did. And that was 2 or 3 years ago, 4 years ago now. If you look at this, Porky Medina, I think, was coming off, a year layoff when he went and fought Caleb Plant. I think he was coming off knee surgery. He looked out of shape. Fighters change. To say that the same Porky Medina that fought Uzcategui in 2013 is the same one that fought DeGale in 2015, or is the same one that fought Caleb Plant in 2018, is just, come on, Hassan. You're smarter than that. I've seen you in the chat for a very long time. You're a very smart guy. You know that the Porky Medina win for Caleb Plant, while a good win, is not indicative of him being able to beat Caleb Plant, or Jose Uzcategui, or being a champion level guy. I think Callum Smith, Gilberto Ramirez, and Uzcategui right now in today's time are favorites over Caleb Plant. And again, maybe that changes after Sunday, because again, this fight's on Sunday, not Saturday, for anyone wanting to know. But at this point, we don't know that. That's information that we don't have yet. That's incomplete. So, yeah, again, people want to say Porky Medina is a great guy and he's some more level guy. He kind of was at some point. Kind of. Not really. And also James DeGale, I think there's a lot of deserved retroactive sort of looking at his career and how good was it in a sense, to be honest. But digression from that, Rob, I may briefly mention the co-main because I know you don't care about it. Brandon Figueroa versus Moises Flores. Figueroa, obviously undefeated younger brother of Omar Figueroa. This fight at featherweight, both Moises Flores and Brandon Figueroa moving up. So I like the fight. Again, one of those step-up fights. It's in a way. Moises Flores hasn't looked great as of late. I think he lost to, obviously, Guillermo Rigondeaux, but that was overturned to no contest. And then he lost to, who was it? Daniel Roman on DAZN. That's right. I think, again, good step up for Brandon Figueroa. Good barometer fight for him. If he washes Flores, that shows he really is elite and ready for that step up. Also on the card, Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Giovanni Delgado. Speaking of Guillermo Rigondeaux, back on the card from over a year layoff, right? Like it's when was the Lomachenko fight? Was that 2017? I want to say it was.
Yeah, Yep, it was December 2017.
Yeah,
So it's going to be like 13 months.
Yeah, so obviously shout out to Rigo for coming back. But anyways, digress from that. Showbox card. I believe it's a showbox card, not a world championship.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's showbox. Devin Haney versus Xolisani Ndongeni. Xolisani is decent. I'm still picking Devin Haney. I think he's obviously the better boxer, better skill, better talent. I think he's probably the faster guy. I think he's a better athlete. But Ndongeni he's good. Like he has some good reflexes, some good boxing ability. He's just a little bit too heavy on that front foot for me. I feel like he's going to get uppercut at some point. He's going to get caught at some point. And I think Devin Haney is going to have his way with him at some point. Sample King saying Rigo back at 122, question mark. Yes, it is 122 pounds. Actually, let me check that. I want to make sure that is the case. No, it is 126. Sorry. Rigo's moving up a weight class, or down a weight class, but moving up from his original one. Whatever. But Devin Haney, I think he should get an easier win in this fight. And Dominic Wade on the card. That's about it for me. Rob, any thoughts on Devin Haney?
Yeah, I like him. Again, I think there's a hell of a lot of hype. But we've seen, is it Mason Menard against Devin Haney?
Mm-hmm.
And then we've seen Mason Menard against Teofimo Lopez, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the hype is justifiably with Teofimo Lopez at the moment. And but no, I do like Haney. I think obviously very different fighters, him and Teofimo Lopez. So but yeah, I'll be interested if I'll catch this on Daily Motion or something, because this is Friday, right? Or is it? When's this fight?
Check. It might be a Saturday show because they have the Saturday free.
I don't think it's Sat.
Nope, Friday.
Yeah, I thought it was a Friday. So yeah.
So we have a Saturday off. Just saying. Party time at MCR headquarters.
Is that your house?
Yeah. No. Well, I mean,
it's a long way for me.
I'm actually going to Santa Monica on Saturday. But anyways, digressing. We can talk about that in boxing banter.
Okay. But yeah, no. Obviously, Devin Haney, he's one of your guys' sort of prospects / contenders, or whatever bracket he falls into. But yeah, he's good. I like him. But I don't know the other guy, so I can't say, oh, he's a danger, or this is a real big step up, or anything like that. I did just look at his record, but.
All right, we're gonna move to a topic that Rob's more interested in, obviously. No, we can. It's okay. Rob's idol, Tyson Fury, coming out with they don't see you, Rob. You're off camera now.
Oh man.
Yeah, they see Tyson Fury, not you. Had a quick comment about obviously Deontay Wilder.
Just maintaining my fitness, really. I'm fit now than as I was then, same kind of thing. Ready to fight. Wilder, let's get the fight made. Don't yourself now, mate.
Yes, let's make the fight. Don't shit yourself, mate. Look good. I mean, he's still obviously in really good shape. I want to see some contract. Not see contracts, but I want to see some negotiation, like actual headlines about the negotiation, not just a quick witty comment and 30 seconds of pad work. Rob, I can tell you were very hyped when he said this, and obviously, so.
No, it's just,
what do you want to talk about with Tyson Fury's, call out of Deontay Wilder?
I mean, obviously, we've heard from both sides that there are talks for the rematch to happen. But there's been stupid shit going around that Fury doesn't want it, and Davison had said that Fury and Wilder and Joshua should fight first, and then we do this. But I also heard little things like, "Oh, finally, Tyson Fury comes out and says he wants to fight." I'm like, "What is it? January the 10th. They fought on December 1st. Is he not allowed a fucking Christmas break?" And Jesus, he was away from his family in California for I don't know, however long it was, 10 weeks or whatever, left the family behind and had his fight, picked himself up off the floor and had all this, great press, the perception is he won the fight. Can he just not go home, spend some time with his family? And I think it was Boxing Day. He sent a message to Davison that he was in the gym. He said no days off, no days. He's already back in the gym. Didn't want to sit there over Christmas, digging into the chocolate selection boxes and all the good stuff, all the good food. He's keeping on top of his weight and he's looking great. But yeah, as far as come on, Deontay Wilder, that could be. He could have said, AJ, you pussy, let's get it up. It could have been any name he could have, and it would have sparked everyone like going, oh, like, oh, wow. But it's Tyson Fury. So until something solid comes out, we hear something, this, that, like Lance Pugmire says, LA Staples Center are looking to host the fight. Oh, suddenly there's people touting for the site and everything like this. So Tyson Fury looking down a camera lens and saying, don't shit yourself, let's get it on Wilder. That's just Tyson Fury, right?
We can literally see that on any of his Instagram stories.
I'm sure I could find one probably now.
You probably can.
He's probably done one. And he's probably called AJ a dosser or, a weightlifter or some shit as well. So it's good. But, it's all part of the thing. Like that was BT have gone out because he's out in Marbella, MTK Marbella training, keeping the weight off, just keeping things ticking over. And that was a BT clip with a full length interview to come whenever that comes out. I'm not sure, but maybe this is promo in the start, starting off some early stuff that's going to be little clips here and there and whatever. So we'll see, but great to see off the back of a fight. He hasn't, that fire seems to be well and truly back. He's loving boxing again. He's absolutely in love with the sport.
Definitely seems like that. Definitely seems like that. Well, just the fact that he can go throughout a Christmas holiday without gaining weight. Impressive. Like, you have to be impressed by that, right? Because I think the average human gains weight over Christmas break.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, and unless you have some dodgy dinner that upsets your tummy, everyone's pretty much banging on a few pounds, So Tyson Fury, who we know can really put on the pounds, looking great, looking sharp.
He looks exactly the same from the fight, which actually should. I mean, so does Wilder. I mean, both guys, I think, when they're dialed in. Same with AJ. Like, they rarely look different on fight day, out of fight, on vacation. Like, they all three, when they're all dialed in, especially, I mean, adding that caveat for Fury's sake, they all sort of look the same in shape all the time. And plus, I mean, there's no way Fury came from the Wilder fight not having the fire 100% back.
He just that's the net positive of all this, that Tyson Fury seems to be in love with boxing again, and I don't know whether he had a drink over Christmas, but we know he's had issues with those kind of things. So, if he didn't touch a drop of drink and just thinking, I just want to get in the gym, this good. Is a heavyweight division beware, I guess, a fully focused in love with the sport, fire back in the, I want to say belly, but the belly ain't really there anymore. But that's a dangerous thing to sort of think about. We saw Wilder missing a lot of shots, and he seemed to be back. If we're going to get even more improved in the rematch, Tyson Fury, then it's going to be an interesting year and a half or whatever. So long may it continue, the heavyweight division.
Speaking of the heavyweight division, Big Baby Miller's promoter going out and saying the ball is in AJ's court to make the fight. I mean, this is kind of obvious. I would say that it is in AJ's court. I mean, right? Like, Captain Obvious, thank you. But sort of, again, take a grander point from both these topics that we're talking about. Fury's sort of, very light comeback sort of social media footage, and obviously the AJ Miller rumors, negotiation, whatever you want to call it, continuing to heat up. When boxing was, let's say, in circa 2010, every time it was up for Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather to pick who they fight next, the entire boxing world waited. It felt like. The media waited, the fans waited, everyone just sort of like waited in anticipation, and also just like that's always on the mind, like that's always a headlining topic is who Mayweather and Pacquiao were going to fight. Circa that era, obviously, and even in today's era, they still are the kings of that in a way. AJ Wilder and even Fury, you can add him in that. They are now becoming this generation's version of that. And when we talk about the heavyweight division being back, it's back. It hasn't been like this in decades. That's indicative of it. Is that the entire boxing world waits to see who AJ and who Wilder and who Fury fights next. That's a very good thing for the sport. Rob, if you have any thoughts about that or not, we can move on to the last topic of the day. Sorry, second to last topic of the day. Remember, call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue.
Yeah, for Big Baby's promoter, the ball's in Joshua's court. Like you said, that's just how A-sides roll, It's the ball is always in their court. They'll fight who they want, when they want, pretty much. I know that maybe not true as far as making the Wilder fight. He supposedly wants the Wilder fight, but it ain't going to happen. So we got to forget that one. But yeah, maybe Big Baby hasn't got a court, but maybe Joshua's house has got a tennis court. I don't know, or a basketball court. But yeah, it's just how it is. Joshua holds all the aces, holds the balls in the court. He does whatever he wants, I guess. So yeah, I'm not quite sure where that comes from. We want it. It's up to AJ. Does AJ want it? It's like, well, you don't really deserve it, but maybe I'll make my name a bit bigger in America by fighting you there. But we'll see. I'm just waiting on announcements now, because it does get a little bit. Oh, every Twitter poll is, who do you want to see AJ fight next, or who deserves it more? Or it's like, let's just find out, and then we can get over it.
In the age of, let's say, like before the internet, or before mass social media in that sense, when it was sort of like a week-to-week news cycle, because like newspapers come out like weekly, like magazines come out like monthly at times, right? This wouldn't be an issue, like this feeling of like news fatigue, right? And we had it with AJ Wilder back in 2017, right? When that 6-month process happened, right? That was fatigue. Like we all became fatigued based off that story. But because we are in the 24/7 news cycle, where every second news can pop and every second media is expected to react and create content based off of that news, it becomes very tiring when you have to pay attention to it all. When we have to read every single AJ Wilder, AJ Fury, Wilder Fury article and headline, it is tiring. I know for a lot of fans, they don't feel that, and they don't understand why that could be exhausting, because they can just check out at times, and I do that a lot with MMA, I'll be honest. It's different when it's your job. You have to cover it 24/7. It's just crazy. But that's also a good thing for the sport in a way, because again, these three guys are now the biggest figures of the sport today in their generation. They just are.
Yeah, I mean, look, the 50 million offer still.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. You know why? It's not relevant. It doesn't matter. People want to do interviews and then create videos based off of that interview. Go for it. All those boxing YouTube channels that want to do that, talking about the 50 million offer, Lou DiBella's interview, go for it. I'd rather have shows of substance and based in reality and relevance than catching that fan base or that cottage industry of Wilder AJ outrage, which other outlets want to do.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying that
I want smoke.
About how like it's tiring. I mean, it just goes back and forth. But like you said, back in the day, I guess we just heard that he's fighting him, and we're like, all right then. And just crack on. But now everyone has an opinion. Everyone can tell the fighter their opinion. Everybody can at the promoter and tell him their opinion. And you can say, you can't give him that offer. That's disrespectful. He deserves this. It's like, well, all right, I've got the numbers. You don't know what those numbers are, what it's going to generate, this, that, and the other. So I think more so than ever that we're hearing more about fights getting made and how they're getting made. And he said this, like you say, the YouTube channels, the IFLs, the fight hypes. There's a camera in front of these guys' faces permanently. Any news. And I don't know,
And then you have dozens of channels other than that reacting and making content to those interviews. And then it's this huge cottage industry of tapping into the pro AJ fans, the pro Wilder fans, the pro Fury fans, the UK versus US rivalry and bullshit. That's all what it does.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm entertained by some of it. Certain channels they've sort of captured me to think, oh, he does it well, and oh, I'm not so keen on that one and that. But look, the fact that there's boxing, I know we're in a bubble, but boxing is being talked about a little, and you hear different sides from different people that you don't expect. Like I've talked to people and then suddenly think, oh, you saw that, oh you watched that, oh I didn't really, I think it is spreading. Maybe it's more this side I see it.
No, you're absolutely true. But that's a different topic. Like the idea that boxing's growing, when it hasn't in the past couple of decades, it seems like it's stagnated in a way. There seems like there's legitimate growth amongst fans, amongst viewers, amongst everything. You can basically look at almost every metric, and it seems like there's growth. Even if it's marginal growth in certain aspects, there is growth. But that's beside the point of the outrage machine on boxing outlets and the media, and just sticking to that same fucking irrelevant storyline and topic that is beaten to death. And it was beaten to death almost 2 years ago. So, come on, you guys can do better.
I want smoke.
Again, maybe actually talk about other things than AJ and Wilder. Just throwing that out there.
But you know why they do, Matt.
I don't know who you're talking about. They. Who's they?
The people that do. I'm just saying it's
digressing. Let's wait for Boxing Banter episode 2. Patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Last couple topics of the day. I'm not letting you get in, Rob. You can just relax. You can wait till the next show.
When I do get one.
You can wait till you get to the next show, buddy. Crawford Khan press conference next week. Venue still not set. I'll be honest. It's weird to me that I'm seeing an article about a press conference and not, oh, it's official, it's confirmed. I feel like we skipped that stage, and I don't mean that as a bad thing, but I'm still semi-skeptical of this happening because this is a pseudo-official announcement, is it not, Rob?
Yeah, but I don't know how you can announce a fight without a date and venue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go back there.
Why? Why do you do this? Why?
Well, no, it's just, we're told that you can't make a fight without. No, I'm only joking. But yeah, no, it seems to be this seems to be, people had how that came up. Let me just use this as a book. Frank Warren, it was it's done. It's a done deal. It's done. But we heard Lance Bergman say, oh, we're waiting. Apparently Staples Center have bid for this, but there's strong opposition from Vegas. So it's done, but we don't know where it's going to be. It just seems, a little odd. So maybe they're working on it now, and the press conference will be Wednesday, Thursday, and by then it's just a few tiny little details just to tie up. Mm-hmm. Because Bob Arum said the other day, oh no, this is, we're hoping we can make this fight, but it's not done. Is this and that, and now it seems that it's just we're waiting on a venue or with a few little things to tie up, which I guess from Aaron was kind of he didn't want to go down the route of, oh yeah, it's just a matter of time, blah, blah, we've done this. And then if something happens, it falls out and is sort of egg on your face. But yeah, I mean, I think we're getting, Amir Khan tweeted news coming real soon, big news or something. And unless this is a real curveball and he's going to take the Brook fight and it's going to be a matchroom press conference, I think we're pretty sure it's Crawford. And I'm pretty sure it'll probably end up at MSG like it was originally reported. These things kind of come full circle, and it's we knew this, right? This press conference is no surprise now. We knew all these little bits anyway,
and that's why I don't watch most press conferences.
yeah. So we know what's happening, but yeah, April's pay-per-view coming real soon.
Let's not talk about it. Let's talk about the last topic of the day: Koze Tanaka versus Ryuichi Taguchi versus on March 16th, being announced by AsianBoxing.com. Koze Tanaka, the gift that keeps on giving in the boxing world. If you do not know who that is, if you're casual in any way, or if you think you're hardcore and you don't know who Koze Tanaka is, go watch Koze Tanaka versus Sho Kimura, arguably fight of the year, which we'll get to obviously on our award show sometime in the near future, which we haven't gotten to because Rob keeps ducking that work. Just saying. It could be me too. Digressing. Let's get out of here though, because we're gonna
quickly just put up some quick news, just for my fellow Brits. My fellow Brits may need to know this. First of all, Callum Johnson has vacated the British light heavyweight title, so Joshua Buatsi and Liam Conroy have been.
Sorry, I had to add some spice to it.
Joshua Buatsi and Liam Conroy have been ordered for the vacant bout per Spids February the 13th. We've also.
I would have really liked the Callum Johnson Buatsi fight. Like, it's kind of bummed that we didn't get that. I knew this was going to happen because I think Callum Johnson's still coming off the loss to Beterbiev. But
I think he's going to fight again in America. I think they're building him again to have another crack at a world title. I think so. All right, shake your head all you want.
I'm thinking he's getting a tune-up. I think he's getting a tune-up. And great radio. Fuck off. I think he's getting a tune-up, and then obviously facing Buatsi next for the title that he vacated. I think that's most likely going to happen. I think the only reason Callum Johnson didn't fight Buatsi now is because he is coming off a knockout loss, and that'd be A, highly stupid of anyone to come off a knockout loss into a big fight, or B, unhealthy, for your brain. So I'm okay with this move, and I don't think they're building up Johnson in America or for a world title fight. I think they're building him up to face Buatsi, and that's really all that they care about.
Yeah, I think you're wrong, but we'll move on to the next one. Lewis Ritson returns to defend his British lightweight title against Andy Townend on a show promoted by Eddie Hearn, March the 23rd in Newcastle.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Who, Andy Townend?
No, I've heard him. I've heard both the guys. I just wanted to use that soundbite.
Yeah, of course you did. Speaking of who the fuck is that guy, little piece saying Paulie Malignaggi has categorically denied rumours that he's been in talks for a potential boxing match against.
I said it last year when I heard you to take part. We're here to take over.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?
Anyways.
One more thing. Dmitry Bivol's manager has said that they have ruled out Showtime as his new US broadcaster, and they will choose between ESPN and DAZN soon. So, yeah, that just wraps up just a few.
You said Bivol, right?
Dmitry Bivol, yeah.
Yeah, I swore you said Beterbiev, but then I was like, no, he said Bivol, and then I just wanted to clarify that in case there's anyone like me that misheard you. But anyways, digressing from that, boxing banter. What, in about 20 minutes, Rob? Is that what we're thinking?
Cool. Yeah, cool. Yep.
20 minutes. Patreon.com/MixedCombat Like I said, always want the smoke. Always want it. I'm over here building an empire of substance, not TMZ-like bullshit. Digressing from that, I am Matt the Hipster Hunter. You can find me at Matt Hunter, MCR, all platforms. Obviously, this is Mixed Combat Radio, MCR Radio Show on Twitter, MCR Podcast on Instagram, Mixed Combat Radio on Facebook. Email me, mixedcombatradio@gmail.com for any inquiries or anything like that. Also, contact at mixedcombatradio@gmail.com as well if you want to email me there. But yes, tons of stuff on the horizon, tons of stuff in the works. We're continuing to build. Again, go to Patreon, support $1 a month, all that we need to help build the empire. Rob, let people know where to find you.
Yeah, Instagram, Twitter, UK Rob MCR. Yeah, again, really want to just get us over that 1,000, and then it's just plain sailing all the way to the top from there. We just need to cross into that 1,000. So, please share shows, put them in your Facebooks, your whatever, you know, retweet it. Just go to our page.
Your Facebooks, yes.
Your Facebooks, all your books. Get them
all the books.
Get all the books down off your shelf, and put this show in all of those books. But yeah, look, we just you know, we've had a real spike in subscribers. It's you know, when the views to our subscriber count is really good. We just want that subscriber count to grow and then the views to grow with it. So that's as much as we can do, is be here and tell you stuff and do our own kind of push on social medias and things like that. But it's sort of also on you guys to help, you know, help along the way. You're here because you like it, hopefully. Or you're just, you know,
hopefully
tuning in to see what this stupid, you know, American guy says or that fucking English guy says, you know. But, you know, we just need a bit of help to get us across there. So do your bit, hit that thumbs up, share the show, 5-star review on iTunes. We're there on Spotify. I don't know you can do reviews on Spotify.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's that. But never mind. But yeah, UK Rob MCR, Instagram and Twitter, and also follow the show's social medias as well. Catch you later.
Peace.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Come on, guys. It's normal.
I'm Phil. I'm very Phil.
What is that song? I believe the Beatles had it. All you need is one. Deontay Wilder just needs one shot.
I want smoke.